Listen, Michael, let me tell you how this works. I do it. I dump the markets, big dump. Everyone's crying. And I start the recession fears, total fear. The media eats it up. Then I cut the rates I tell them to. And boom, everything goes up. Stocks, Bitcoin, everything. And guess what? I buy the bottom. I always buy the bottom. Then I say, let's pivot. And the bull market begins. It's beautiful. I run the whole thing. They don't want you to know that, but I just told you.
Mass capitulation and max fear has taken over the crypto Twitter feed, as today we see people freaking out thinking that the bear market is here and we're in for years of recessionary pressures on the United States economy and Beyonce, as people think that Trump is crushing the markets with his tariffs and scary rhetoric. Let's dive into this and really dissect what's going on right now on not only Bitcoin and the crypto markets, but also the traditional stock side. Before we get into all this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell to not miss a beat here on the Blockchain Basement. But as you can see, things have gotten painful on the crypto market side, with a sea of red and pain down 30%, 20% across the board on the month. And now, if we zoom in, here's the weekly looking pretty similar, but today things are ticking back up. We see some big bounces here. Now, the big question is this a dead cat bounce? Are we just setting up for more pain in the future as markets are staring down the barrel of what the Atlanta Fed has said is going to be a negative reading on American GDP? Disaster brewing. The stock market plunged nearly 900 points, the worst first 50 days of a president since 2009 during the Great Recession. Everything Trump touches dies. My God, it's all Trump's fault here. As we zoom in here and look at this, Dwight D. Eisenhower and his wonderful debacle he dealt with, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and the rest. Bill Clinton, when we had mo jobs and blow jobs. Fantastic work, Mr. Clinton. And of course, Obama. Who can forget Obama? But there's so much more to this. We have massive tariff announcements coming nearly every single day, and a lot of them are aimed at our neighbor up north, Canada. Here's a post from one of the infamous Krasenstein boys, Ontario Premier Doug Ford, talking about Trump's tariffs. Let's have a listen to this.
And if we go into a recession, it's self-made by one person. It's called President Trump's recession, which shouldn't be this way. We should be booming both countries right now on the electricity. Stay tuned.
Blaming the tentative recession on one man and one man alone, Donald Trump. Well, I wouldn't expect anything less from the Canadian leader, Doug Ford. As we've seen, he doesn't like Trump. There's going to be a lot of Trump derangement syndrome coming in every single time the market takes a tumble. They're going to blame the orange one.
The Dow is down more than 2%, around 900 points today, after Trump, in an interview on Fox News, refused to rule out a recession. Watch those comments.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
It may be a recession, but it's the most beautiful recession the country has ever seen.
Should be great.
They look quite thrilled at the idea of a recession. Well, boy, howdy, is Trump breaking some eggs, Elon Musk gutting the federal workforce, and also Robert F. Kennedy getting ready to do what he's got planned for the healthcare industry here in the United States. Big changes are on the way. And there is a large portion of our GDP that's made up of federal and healthcare input. Now we have this from the Atlanta Fed. On March 6th, they put out a model that puts the real GDP growth in Q1 of 2025 at negative 2.4%. Very scary for Wall Street and investors, as max fear is starting to take hold and people are calling for the end of what we know as a bull market. But I want to bring some reason to the table here beyond the Trump derangement syndrome that we see taking hold across crypto Twitter and mainstream media. Here's a great post from Caleb Franzen. This is it. We are at a key level. He's been talking about this for a few weeks. This is the S&P 500 versus U.S. Treasuries on the 125-day and the 250-day EMA, full trading year in TradFi. And if this fails to act as support, it's an official regime shift. Very important levels that we are coming to in the S&P 500 versus Treasury side. But right as investors start to run for the hills and retail is selling its bags to massive whale wallets, this news just broke right before I went to stream. Breaking peace alerts. Ukraine has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire with Russia, and Washington will now lift the pause on Ukrainian aid and intel sharing. Russia must also now agree to the ceasefire on their end, It's happening. President Trump's team in Saudi Arabia making this happen as we speak. This will be huge for foreign policy accomplishments under the current trajectory. But wait, there is more. Just broke right before I went live here. Let's have a look at this. Absolutely crazy. You got to stay up with all the news to keep that edge going. So Ontario has now agreed to suspend its 25% surcharge on exports to the United States of electricity to Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. So we do see actually some diplomacy and some deal making happening, not only on the war side, but within the trade war side as well. The threat of these things happening on the trade war side has really gotten a lot of investors shook. But me personally, I'm not too worried about the larger scope of things. In fact, I completely agree with Alex Becker's comments on this earlier today. In Alex Becker's words, you have it easy right now. In a bull, you have to buy high risk, low cap projects or new coins to make those 10Xs. But right now, at these prices that we see, you can just buy the leading clear winners with long-term hold coins and make those same 10Xs. We are entering easy mode, and it may not feel like it because people that are in this market for the first time, or maybe this is your first bull cycle, are getting scared by these 20-30% pullbacks. But I got to come here and tell you guys, we see this time and time again, even in bull market trends, as the market resets itself. So for me personally, what I'm doing is I am being excited about stacking some of the biggest conviction plays that I have. I made that very clear on the channel. The first and foremost conviction plays, obviously Bitcoin with this great pullback. It's a great entry point for Bitcoin. But then beyond that, Chainlink, Ondo, Morpho, and Aerodrome. These are my chosen coins of this bull market for a litany of different reasons, but these are the easiest winners that I have in my bag. And I want to know from you down in the comments what you are stacking. I'm almost enticed at these levels to add to my avalanche bag. But let me know what you guys are most inclined to add to your positions on. But I want to know your input. Are you running for the hills and selling your bags to whales? Or are you stacking and leaning into the danger of the current market time frame? Let me know down in the comments below, and I hope you are having a blessed day. Stay based. Drew's out.